Love when buttons don't work. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Blathering, episode 212, in an ongoing series of me and you. Like to thank the subscribers I lost this week. We're very happy that you were here. We've got a lot to get to tonight, and I don't know what tone I'm striking. I don't know. A lot to talk about in the world today. I'll start here. Years ago, when I was launching straight head into the digital media world, I wasn't the type of person to talk anything outside of my silo. Which, by the way, I actually think is okay. I don't automatically fault anyone who's like, I play video games and I'm going to Twitch stream video games and I'm not going to talk about the news. I actually really don't. I don't fault comics who get on stage and are like, tonight I'm talking about my favorite candy bars. I think it's all valuable. And I don't think you should jump to any conclusions when you see someone just talking about something else other than what's dominating the news cycle or dominating the world. But once I moved outside of some of the channels I was on, that's different. You're owned by someone. You work for someone. If they say, we don't talk about that here, you either do and lose your job or you don't. Your choice to make when the time comes. If you start making money from a podcast talking about laser swords, I do think you should have the right to determine what you want to address if your bills are being paid by it. I really do. I think it's all a big hodgepodge of confusion we're trying to get through. But I am proud to say that I years ago decided, I want to talk about more than just what I'm known for or what is safe. And the reason I'd kept myself in that is I was just afraid to go by outside any walls. And so the Blathering has long been a place now to come here and be silly. Come here and talk about how Reese's Pieces is very clearly dominant over M&M's. And if you call them Reese's Pieces, you're lying to yourself. And we love having that. Tonight we'll talk some Game of Thrones. One of my favorite episodes coming up. We can talk about that. Broken Man. Get some NFL picks. Got the Dolphin hat here because I still kind of believe that we might win one game this year. We got all that. But without a doubt, yesterday, actually today as well, this is September 11th. That is a date that you don't hear without having some thought about the events on September 11th, 2001. And I don't even want to go deep diving into that tonight. But I'm of the generation that was severely affected by it. I think over time it's changed. I am a never forgetter, but I'm also one of these, hey, that is a 25-year statement that is bigger than just freedom fries, as it should be. And I think a lot of never forgetters have stopped in like February of 2002. And that's what they mean by it. The meaning of never forget goes on for me. But it's also an event that severely affected me and a lot of people. And I was watching a great video today from someone, I don't even know, he just popped up my algorithm recently. And I watched it. He had a great video a couple weeks ago talking about Gamergate and how we're still dealing with that. And he also had something today or yesterday about we never got over 9/11. And I think that's about my generation above and the youngers and everyone. It's a different perspective. This isn't you don't understand what it means, man. I was watching it on TV, or I was there, or, every generation has that. Every generation has that thing. And I talk about it every year and I joke every year. By the way, I'm not opposed now, 24, 25 years later, to a good 9/11 joke. You got one, you text it to me. All right. I won't post it. I'll probably giggle because I've gotten to that point because it's bigger than even what it is. But this guy had a great video today about what it broke. And what it broke for our generations. And I'm not one of those, you weren't there for Pearl Harbor. You weren't there for Kennedy. You weren't there for the Challenger. Like those are all things that we have. And I think we have those almost every day in the world now. And I think what happened on Wednesday with the, whatever you want to call it, assassination, murder, death of Charlie Kirk in front of the entire world I actually think that it is kind of one of those moments, maybe on a smaller scale. We don't rank things here. This isn't news stories ranked like a funny podcast or something. It's just, I think it's in the bucket. And the reason I think it's in the bucket is I do think there's ramifications beyond it. So it's all in all of our minds. That's all. I couldn't get any work done yesterday. And a lot of group texts, a lot of thoughts going around. Posted a couple things that could be interpreted just simply as jokes, but I think they're humor to shine points on things. It's been going on, since yesterday into today. Even if I had lunch today, that's all we were talking about it with some friends. So I don't have anything. It's not even that I have anything in important to say on it, right? But it needs to be addressed because I do a show that takes place in life. And in life, you deal with what happened. You talk about what happened. You have thoughts about what happened. And you got to get up the next day and put on your shoes. Or you got to talk to your kid and protect them from what happened. Or choose how you want to discuss it with them. You got family members that might be posting pictures, as I have seen on Facebook. Because, again, I intentionally go into Facebook on nights like this to see who I'm blocking, who I used to work with or do comedy with, or, 15th cousins I don't know. And there was artwork of Jesus holding Charlie Kirk as he welcomed him into heaven. So that was an instant. We're unfriending and we're not friends anymore because I just don't care. I'm not taking that away from you. Go do it. Go process how you want. Go believe what you want to believe. But we're done here. We're done here. And the thing I want to get across is I am not one that's out there saying, that this was, a good thing that isn't going to also cause more problems. But that it was pretty horrendous. It was pretty disturbing. I watched the video. One of those things that came across. Oh, yeah, I'll click on this. And I have it's something I've seen before on video and studying over 200 active shooter cases. In my old job, they took all of us security directors down to Seal Beach one day, locked us in a room and showed us video of like 50 active shooter cases. And I've seen some things that, stay in my mind. And so I just kind of saw yesterday with a different tone and was like, oh, bad. But like, other people I know are still like, I'm disturbed beyond a way in which I understand it. So I'm not out here to say that this was a good thing. And yeah, you know what? He was a 31-year-old husband and father of 2 kids. And he was, as far as we know, assassinated for just simply trying to exist as who he was. Yeah, that is a bad thing. That's what we've been saying the entire time that we should consider stopping, including, the school shooting yesterday or the Minnesota State Senator, her husband and dog shot just 3 months ago, or the list that goes on and on and on. And put a pin in the conversation about political violence. If I think about it, I'll bring it up here. I'm saying, it was pretty bad. That's not something we want. But I saw a post today, and I saw it discussed by Tizzy Ent and other people online. Someone put out there, I don't support what happened to Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk did. What has really affected me over even last night into today is those people. I'm not just going to Facebook to say, I'm a lefty and I'm gonna block any conservative thoughts on my Facebook page. You like Charlie Kirk, you're out. No, I'm just saying I'm beyond the point of wanting to engage with you if you're using that thought. I'm not even gonna say pearl clutching, but if using that thought, he says what he says, but he's a husband and a father, and I just can't get over that. Yeah, no, that's pretty disturbing. It's disturbing. But when you stop there and use that as a shield to engage with the issue beyond it, much like never forget, and then I don't analyze how 9/11 directly led to Trump and some of the other things going on in our world now, or analyze the stuff that led us to 9/11. If you don't engage with it beyond that, and you just use that family photo that everyone's sharing, no matter what even if you disagree with him, great. Yeah, no, I don't think that should happen. I don't think it should happen to you, me, or anyone. Yeah, that's not what the world we want, but that's the world he seemed to want. That's the world he seemed to cultivate. And I'm fine with that thought that a lot of friends and family and people I know are having. That's just horrible. I can't stop thinking about the kids. Yeah. Nor can I stop thinking about the kids in the high school, or the kids in the Catholic school, or blah, 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 blah. Do the Jon Stewart list all the way back to Columbine and beyond, because that wasn't the first school shooting. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's bad. But I can't let you ignore that Charlie Kirk on his show said what everyone was sharing yesterday. I think they should stone gay people. Blaming mass shootings on transgender people. One of his last words, one of his last sentences was saying that there was too many mass shootings done by these transgender people. I can't let him get away with saying black women don't have the intellectual capabilities to succeed, so they have to take white men's jobs. I can't let him get away with saying, if I see a black pilot, I'm afraid and concerned. I think everyone is. I can't get away with him saying that educated white college women are going to be the death of this world, and on and on and on. Including, as we all saw shared yesterday in meme form, his thoughts in 2023 of, the price of liberty, the price of protecting the Second Amendment is some deaths. Yeah. I guess you're right. In response to school shootings and other things, him saying on his show, I don't like the word empathy. Empathy is like this new age word, and it caused a lot of problems. Yeah. It's part of the problem. It's part of what's going on, and we should analyze it. I never have forgotten sitting with my scared roommates, as we joked, because that's all we knew how to do, and watching live on TV the Twin Towers come down in front of our eyes. I'll never forget that. I watch a lot of those docs every year. I make jokes about being a middle-aged man. That's just me processing a gaping wound of trauma that I experienced along with so many people. I will never forget that. But I will never stop looking at what caused it and what we did after. And not even that it's a bad thing. I was talking to a friend today about what happened to me that day. And one of the things I realized later on is a lot of my friends and people I worked with joined up. Just like actor Adam Driver, who joined up. Go fight to go get them. That's what we did. It's part of our legacy, and we're still unpacking it now. Never forget includes that. So what happened yesterday, the processing of it, trying to understand it, does include, even Charlie Kirk shouldn't have had that happen to him. But we have to ask why. We have to ask why it was allowed, and we have to ask why it might happen again. We have to. And when someone like him is at the center of this world, Charlie Kirk died in the world he helped create. And I think that's just a truth that I don't want anyone to ignore, that I can't let anyone in my circles get away with. And there's other conversations to be had about political violence. That's the new buzzword of the week, right? Media literacy, nuance, political violence this week. Yeah. And political violence, I want to talk about political violence. We in America, that's one of our greatest exports. Political violence is what happens on the street when 500 South Korean workers are picked up by ICE. Political violence is what happens when protesters are cracked upon the head. That happens all the time. And a lot of people will bring that up, but I think it's correct to bring it up. But I also think right now, as people I know use Charlie Kirk's family photo as a shield and then have already fallen for the rhetoric, well, it was written on that bullet. I'm treating that as absolute fact. Well, who did this? Our president, who clearly had a stroke, has said that the radical left did this. That is already happening. So in the larger discussion of political violence, I choose today also to share information of, hey, a lot of the political violence has not been caused by the radical left, but a lot of the political violence that has been perpetrated in the last few years on a large scale does come from one particular side. And it ain't the radical left. Are there cases? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, certainly. Certainly. Absolutely. But that's where I choose to put my focus. So we're all processing. The text threads were exploding yesterday, as they should, because that's how we process it. That's where I stand. That's where I'm at. Tonight, if you want to call in and you want to talk about your favorite candy bar, I'd love to hear that. If you'd like to talk about how you're processing anything that happened yesterday, or even anything you process with your memories around 9/11, which is huge for a reason, right? The most popular songs in the world. Is Piano Man Billy Joel's best song? I don't know. But it's legendary for a reason. 9/11 is what it is for a reason. Trust me, I was there at an adult level. And I have friends in my life who still are in therapy because they were 4 blocks away and they're trying to process the loss. That's a real thing. And all the snark in the world can't take that away. I'm here for all these conversations today, but also for the silly ones. All right, let's do what we always do. Let's talk sports and weather and bring in producer Steve. Hey,
well, that's
Steve.
a hell of a segue. Hey, Ken.
Do you like
Thursday.
Reese's Pieces?
Is it bad that I called them Reese's Pieces for like the first 28 years of my life?
No, it's okay. I don't mind. It's an ATTN thing, I think. And if you grow up one way, that's what it is.
I grew up an ATTN kid, just for the record.
How you doing, buddy? How are we doing?
Baby watch continues. So that's, the little slice of my life that I'm using to focus on instead of, everything else. So yeah, but no, I think you put all of that really well, Ken. I thought that was a very good statement on kind of the state of things and how we react to this stuff, how we talk about these things. And yeah, I'm not trying to reopen a whole can of worms or anything. I'm not going to do that. But the only thing I wanted to say was just, I think yesterday was an interesting, principle to kind of put to the moment of if a lot of people have been talking about how they feel or where their principles lie or, their reaction to big news events like this that are tragic in whatever way. Right. I think like what you said, where you felt like you needed to, take some people out of your Facebook list or whatever it is, right? I think yesterday it said a lot about how we react to that principled stance of someone who clearly said a lot of hateful, evil things, and was still wronged in a civil society, right?
Right.
So that's all I'm going to put it at that. I think you nailed the head on everything that I would have, pretty much agree with everything you said about that. But I think it's an interesting conversation to keep having from the standpoint of like, why is this so polarizing? Right. This is, I don't want to conflate this, like the people, but the moments are like when George Floyd died, like during summer riots, like January 6th. This is one of those just kind of watershed events that happens during the administration that I think is going to be looked at as to kind of what the response is. And we've already seen it hasn't been good from administration side as far as structure side. And I'm interested to see it's even from people on the left and it's just been a lot of surprising reactions, I think, from people you would see as what you would think would be leadership or anything like that.
Yes.
There's a lot of soul searching going on, I think.
Yeah, and we're going to, on anytime tomorrow, as always, we're back. We were off last week. What a return Alden and I have tomorrow. We're going to dive into it, and that is half my show, half Alden's, and I can't wait to hear all of his thoughts. We've had some wonderful conversations and also shared some wonderful jokes. Tarina's in chat. Tarina and I have shared some wonderful conversations and wonderful jokes, which, by the way, I think is part of the process. It's part of the process. Some of my best jokes I ever made were in the morning of 9/11 watching the second tower come down because that's the only thing I could do in that moment, right? But yeah, I'm also, I understand the decorum game. Doesn't mean I 100% agree with it, especially now. I think there's a way to decorum. I've seen Pritzker, Governor Pritzker, do it in a little bit better fashion. And then you got the other scale of Newsom just Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Not surprising. But,
not surprising. No. But
sometimes things are so not surprising, they surprise me all over again.
Right. I think. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a telling moment for a lot of stuff. I agree with a lot of what you said about the situation itself and the reaction to it.
Yeah.
But empathy is really important to me. I've talked about that before, and so that was big. That was also a big deal for Charlie Kirk, and that's that's about where my things lie on that.
Yeah. One bit final note. Yeah, Tully. And I really goddamn love Tully Quinn, even though he's that loose cannon. We all hold him the belt. He's our attack dog that we need to send sometimes into the fray. Tully's very right. Just clarified. We still have no idea who did it or why. Just as Reed wants to think to do. Yeah, and that was not surprising. But when you see it play out, and I go into my Facebook page, and you're just scrolling, but the thing is, there's some like, well, of course that person's thinking that. There was some surprises yesterday in my life, of like, wow, okay, and that's also part of the key. What Tully said is we also don't fully know, and that's part of my point of sharing some information of some previous incidents of high profile political violence, where it's like, yeah, when the dust settled, it wasn't that narrative, right? But anyways, we can go on and on and on in that. But glad you're here. Yeah, and it's hard. And you're a family man, Steve. You're a family man. This kind of stuff doesn't. You're on the cusp of your second, your bench player, your backup quarterback there. Is that how it works? Is there a depth chart?
Something like that.
Yeah, this kind of stuff's hard because, potentially it ain't going to get better. And so how best do you navigate it as a parent,
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that my kids are small enough that I don't have to necessarily explain these things quite yet. I will have the benefit of all the information coming out and stuff. But the thing I want to talk about, and the thing that, because again, we can go on and on about how much of a shithead we thought this person was, to be frank, but that's not the point. The thing to me, and the point that I took away from yesterday, Ken, is the FBI has absolutely no idea what the fuck they're doing. No. And if this happened under the past administration, they would be burning everything down, because what the hell is going on? What do you mean they don't know? What do you mean they arrested two white guys and then let them go? Of course they thought it was two white guys. Like,
yeah.
What?
Well, I am surprised. And look, I'm going to go on my public safety pass here. There has been times where you get to, it's chaotic. I've said this, in 17 years of public safety, not one witness was ever 100% correct. Never. And I mean that, right. And I'll rest on my grave on that. Yeah. Not one witness is right at any point. And you get there and they got Grandpa Joe in the cargo shorts. I'm surprised there wasn't a Jack Ruby right there. Like, that was insane to watch that kind of play out in real time. And then, we got him. We don't got it. Like, I get it. Information moves fast. But you can't an extra level of ineffective yesterday.
They did the tweet equivalent of the mission accomplished banner on the aircraft carrier with Patel, like doing the whole, hey, we got it.
We got him. Now watch this drive.
Right. And then, oh, whoops. Nope. That wasn't him either. Damn. And now I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, they've been looking for somebody all day. I don't know what the hell the whole status of the hunt is on this. I just.
Yeah. And now the conspiracy theories are running wild. And, I don't want to believe anything. I even if those words were scrolled on the bullet or painted, of course they are. Even he's got a disabled veterans T-shirt on. That could be 100% who he is. That could be part of the outfit. Yeah, if that suspect, by the way, or the person of interest is even the right person, we'll find out. Hopefully, maybe if we want to catch him, he'll grab McDonald's in 5 days. Which folks don't do that. So what do we think here? We got calls, we got GOT, we got NFL picks, top of the hour. Where do you want to
go? Let's do some calls. Is that what you're thinking?
Let's do some calls. Let's bring it. I feel like Aiden's going to be on the show here. Aiden, you're up because Aiden was trying to call in the other day and we didn't get to him.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm doing all right. Well, first off, we asked earlier, Billy Joel's best song is Vienna.
You're a Vienna guy. Okay.
Yeah, I think Vienna's his best. But, no, I was with you about the whole, like I said, I was struggling to get work done yesterday, too. I couldn't stop following it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. I am one of those people where, like, I didn't mourn for him or anything, but it was kind of like, I don't, people who celebrate death, it's weird to me.
Yeah, it's a free and clear choice, right? And which is fine. I'm fine with people's choices.
Just as far as like, did he deserve this? My opinion is deserves got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I like that sentence. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, but I mean, it's funny. Mark Norman had a good tweet today. He said, "Yesterday was crazy. Now we can all enjoy 9/11."
Yeah, no, it's hard to. I think I was already gearing up for that. Like I said, it's something that is always on my mind every year. I'm just one of those Gen Xers, I guess. But yeah, that it's surreal. It's all surreal, man. But anything else on your mind too? You don't have to get in the weeds on this. Is there something else going on? Happy to hear.
Let's see, is anything else going on? Not really. Like I said, was just chiming in. Just wanted to hear everybody's thoughts today, and I was just looking forward to the show.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for holding out patience. I know I was trying to get you in last week, but I know you couldn't stay in the queue.
No worries. Much appreciated.
All right. Aiden, check it in there. There you go. There you go. All right. Matthew says, I went too far. No one deserves to be executed in front of their children. You're escalating the situation. Great situation. I didn't, Matthew. Please tell me the point where I said it was okay, man.
Yeah, I think that's getting lost in a lot of this confusion. I think deserved and saying that this was like no one deserves this or deserve this or deserve that. And I think Aiden made a good point about deserve isn't the point or deserve isn't the word to use here. And I think the point you also made that the whole Charlie Kirk supported the idea that someone could do this in this country as easily as they were able to do.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And no, it's horrific for, if you saw the video and were affected by it, I 100% get it.
Yeah.
No, this isn't good. Neither is the execution of, a state senator in Minnesota with her husband and dog and family or anything else that's going on, including, the attempt to hang Mike Pence or anything you want to say. Yeah, no, I don't absolutely think that at all, Matthew. I appreciate your comment, and this is a free spot to discuss. And when I'm speaking live, I have no script. So if I step on some things every once in a while, I appreciate the note, Matthew, and your valued community member here. I'm definitely not saying for me personally, yay, like no, it's just like, yeah, I mean, this is the byproduct of some of the things that have gone on. It's why I want empathy. It's why I want understanding, and why I like to analyze the why. But anyways, I'm not perfect on this thing. As Adam Knight says, this is the guns yet? I don't know. But it's also, it isn't just the guns. It is mental health, right? That's always been a great point. It is. But like 1 billion already has been taken from mental health programs at schools this year alone.
They also continue to change the definition of what mental health means, what it's classified as, how you get treatment for it, the stigma behind it. And yeah, I do want to make another point too about the video. While it's gross, while it's graphic, it's hard to watch, all that kind of stuff. I'm one of those people that think historical. Now, it's not like you hear like peel your eyes open and watch it, but I think it's important that those types of record exist, because it's one of those things of if the gruesomeness of history isn't recorded, it's not that we're bound to repeat it, but we're bound to not feel the impacts of it as much. And this is also something that's happening every single day across the world in different parts of the world, whether it's Gaza, whether it's places in Africa or Southeast Asia. There are people getting murdered like this for political beliefs all over the world. Now, Charlie Kirk was a privileged, rich white dude in a college, speaking hate a lot of times. But it's just like that part of it, right? Like the idea that like the visceralness of it is, I think, hits close to home to a lot of people that aren't in the United States that are like, yeah, see, like this is a, it's a weird dichotomy of things, right? The idea of being killed for how you feel or what you believe in. But yeah, it's, I thought that was an interesting angle of all the people have talked about. Cause yeah, it was also one of those few things where it was so hard to, ignore. If you want a TikTok, you want an Instagram, you could do nothing without warning, and it popped up there for
the clip,
hours. Yeah.
So I sought it out a little bit, and Drina's in chat, and Drina's always, I just wish the media mourned Palestinians like they mourn fascists. Yeah,
there you go.
There's that big part of it too as well, and I don't know, just might be, we function in these weird lanes that I think a lot to me the last 5 years or so have been, particularly younger generations, tried to break some of the barriers around those lanes of life we've all been into, if that makes sense of what I mean. Like, it's just, I always go to the Joker speech, Heath Ledger, of just like, a bunch of people die over there. That's part of the normal thing, right? But this happens, and what happened on Wednesday is part of that, where it's like, this is abnormal, so we react to that. And I think we're getting better at breaking out of that pattern.
And unfortunately, misinformation and quality journalism and the way that we all get our information, all of that kind of stuff has direct ramifications on that whole experience. Because if we're not getting the full story, if we're not getting the right information, then when it does happen here, when stuff does happen, the reaction to it is what you saw from a lot of people on the right yesterday, from libs of TikTok or whatever right winger you want to look at, that's saying this is war, this is that, this is the other thing.
Is war.
Right. Like
war.
Yeah.
Yep. We're all wondering what the Reichstag will be. All right, let's go to, I got a lot of calls tonight, so we might not be all hanging out as long as we normally do. All right. Let's get Detective McCarcel on the show. And then we got Sean, we got JB, I got Jared. I got both Jareds. I got a Jared Bonanza, ENO. Addie, Brennan Mystical Mars. So Detective McCarcel, Michael, but we call him Detective because I was an idiot one day. How are you, my friend?
Exhausted, stressed, general.
Yeah, how you doing? How you getting through it?
I was doing labs all day, so now I have to do lab reports, and it's just, they're not fun to do. You can ask Addie. It's not great.
Well, it's part of the isn't you part of your future? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Oh no, it certainly is. It certainly is. But I don't. It's the part of my future career that I don't look forward to.
I got you.
I can do math all day. It's the lab reports and the things it for my career. Anyway,
let's get you through it. What's on your mind?
I can talk about 9/11 if you want. I remember 9/11.
All right, let's talk about it. Look, but absolutely.
24 years, we're good now. I think we decided this is the line. Now we can joke at that. We can laugh at that joke and say, okay, now we can just do the whole "Where were you on 9/11" on the radio? Okay, cool.
All right. Yep. I actually look again. I am a middle-aged man who's like, oh, it's that time of year to watch some more docs about a really horrible thing that I witnessed. It's how we get through it. But anyways, talk to me, Michael.
I can just about pinpoint where I would have been when it happened.
Where would you have been?
I would have either been on the bus or just getting to school. So
what year? What grade? I know what year, but what grade?
I would have been, that's 2002, so I would have been 8. So that would have been the 3rd grade.
Okay. Yeah, how what was your understanding level at the time, if you can? You might have memories that have filled in the blank spots, but
so day of, you could obviously the teachers weren't telling us too much, but there was still, a bit of an air about school, like something was off, and we knew something had happened in New York having to do with the towers, and apparently they were down, and there was an airplane. And it wasn't until my mom checked me out of school early that day, and she explained to me what happened, like just in full. She didn't hold back. She just said some people hijacked an airplane and ran them into the towers. And then it happened twice technically. So like, I have vivid memories of that one. It was actually one of the first conversations I had with a couple of my fiance's friends, because she and her friends are a few years younger than me, and they don't remember 9/11. They were all like preschool and younger at the time. So one of the first things that it just came up. I don't remember how, but like they were fascinated by how I remembered 9/11. It was just weird. I had never really talked about it all that much until then.
And how do you interact with it now? And you know, those memories.
I mean, I kind of joke about it at this point, because I mean, and just talk about it very casually like this, because I was kind of too young, and like, I certainly remember the cultural shifts that were happening, but the ramifications of it were kind of lost on me to a point, because I mean, I was a kid. I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to realize just don't get me wrong, I thought a couple things were absurd. Even as an 8-year-old, freedom fries was just kind of dumb. Like even then I thought that was
a harbinger of things to come.
Truly. But like nowadays, if anything, when I talk about 9/11, this is probably something a lot of people don't like to hear, but I think the terrorists kind of got what they wanted. America fundamentally changed that day, and it hasn't gone back.
Yeah, I mean, it ramped up from where it was heading. There's a lot of things, of course, that led to it. Yeah,
it broke the country in a way that I think is irreparable. I don't know if the. I mean, I know for a fact that it's not going to go back to the forward momentum we had in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like, even as a kid, I remember like my family would complain because they didn't like Bill Clinton because they were Republicans, but they still couldn't like fault them for the fact that there was we were in a budget surplus for the longest time.
Right. Yeah, 90s were weird, man.
Yeah, right.
90s.
And then,
but a lot of stuff was sinking in there.
Terrorists created our economy, our culture. They got what they wanted. Like, and it's that's kind of the big conversation I have about 9/11 now, as opposed to I think there's I don't know how many more times you can say you feel for the loss of the people that lost their family members that day. Like, there's like, we can always say it, but like, I'm most likely never gonna meet someone who lost someone in 9/11. It's a small group, you know.
I mean, I know a lot. Like, I know a lot, quite frankly.
But isn't
because of my age, maybe because of age. Yeah.
Age group, and also probably because there's a lot of transplants in LA.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people from New York tend to move to Louisiana. So like,
that's true.
That's true. Yeah. If they do, something is wildly wrong in their lives.
Yeah. One of my oldest friends from elementary school, his cousin was on one of the planes. A lot of people might know that Christian Harloff lost a real close friend in one of the towers, and it was one of my friends was 4 blocks from it, and all those kind of things. So well, Michael, I appreciate you sharing, buddy, on a tough subject on an interesting day that we're all trying to just have some silly fun. We're gonna talk about some candy, but I appreciate you coming in, buddy.
Hell yeah, man, always.
All right, Detective McCarcel there as well. I do have some super chats to catch up to. We'll do those at the end of the show. We'll talk to Sean McCabe soon. I understand, Matthew, where you're coming from. The way to process this is to promote understanding, not rage. His message was sick, and a sport fully of censorship and deplatform, however, does not deserve death. Sharing family pictures is a way of humanizing him, which is what is needed. I don't know if I take your point, Matthew. I just, as I said, or at least I tried to be clear about, the simple act of sharing the photo or expressing, hey, he was a father and a husband, is not what it's not something that's offensive to me. The problem I have is those particularly people in my circle in life who stop there, who just kind of say, here's the victim, this is horrible, what a saint, and a lot of them using the words of Christianity to support and protect this man as if he didn't say the things that he said. So when I either disengage from them or want to talk to them, Matthew, what I'm saying is, you're right. We need to humanize each other. We have lost our connections, right? And it's only getting worse in this modern age, right? Damn kids looking at their phones. We have lost human connection. So I actually really agree with you, Matthew, that we need more humanization of everyone in the world. We throw everyone into buckets, we put labels on them, and then we don't interact, and then we don't have to interact. We can just go into our rooms. My personal thing, and again, I'm overemphasizing this to you, Matthew, because I take your point, but I'm saying if you are in my life and that's where you stop. I had people yesterday saying this man was an inspiration to me. I can't believe this godly man was taken from us, and they shared that picture. I'm not taking that away from you. I just then want to say, great. So do you agree with the fact that he felt gay people should be stoned to death? Do you agree with that? Because that's what that message is saying. It's just me saying, I'd like to push beyond just sharing the picture. If that's how those people, or even you, Matthew, processed it, that's fine with me because I'm also here for the processing conversation. I just am very big on the why of things. Comes from maybe Force Center, but also, looking at the why of the bigger picture. That's where I'm at. So I just want to clarify because I understand where you're saying.
Yeah, I think humanizing. Yeah, Ken, I think humanizing has to go both ways. I think it's important. If you want to humanize him for that, that's fine. Ask yourself how he would humanize some of the people in your chat right now, because he wouldn't.
He would.
And so that's how you could be better than him, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But respect is earned. Humanization shouldn't have to be. I think that's kind of where you can choose to be better. But again, that's a choice. But I think humanization is also a two-way street.
Absolutely. He's got to go soon, so I want to get Brennan Mystical Mar on the show. Brennan, how are you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but
yeah, you got a busy social life. Are you heading out to an Olive Garden near you or something?
Not Olive Garden, no. No, I think as far as this guy, Charlie Kirk, I don't know him other than that guy.
Sure.
I agree entirely with Dorina that.
Well, hold on. That's dangerous ground. When you agree with Dorina, you're signing on for a lot, Brennan. I'm just letting you know.
Yes, I'm aware. That if only the media gave more attention to the Palestinians who are dying as this guy.
Yes.
So I have a slightly controversial take on this.
Okay.
I have empathy for this guy.
Okay.
Because a real Christian would have empathy.
And you're saying that from your perspective. Got it? Yep.
So
I hit it.
From my
Yep.
perspective, I'm going to give him what he didn't give others.
Gotcha.
Because a real Christian, or should I say a real Christ-like person, would give the empathy to him that he did not give to other people.
Correct.
That's my thought, is that I don't agree with him. I don't know him. I don't really care. I mean, I do.
Mm-hmm. You didn't interact with it. Yeah.
That guy. That's all I really knew. And so for me, it's a matter of I'm going to give him the empathy that he did not give to other people.
Sure.
Because unlike him, I am going to try to be Christ-like.
There you go.
You can run around saying Christian all you want, but if you're not behaving Christ-like, you're not a real Christian. And to me, it's like I was talking with Dorina a couple of months ago that how I'm resisting the current evil administration.
Yeah.
And my form of resistance is to be an actual Christian.
I like it, and I've always respected you for that,
bumper sticker labeled Christians.
Bumper sticker Christian, a fancy emblazed Bible Christian,
but someone who actually is, and Charlie Kirk was not.
Yeah. I agree with that, Brennan, and honestly, Brendan, one of the things I love and respect about you, my friend.
Yes, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I think it's a great point. I absolutely think it's a great point. Now, again, before I let you go, Brendan, you gotta be careful when you agree with Darina. That you're standing up for a lot, okay? That's dangerous. That's dangerous. She's a rebel, Daddy. An absolute rebel.
Yeah, no, I like her for that reason.
Dorita's one of my favorites. Dorita and I had a great friend date Tuesday night to see Spinal Tap together.
Oh, yes.
Very, very fun time. I'll give you a little bit of a Spinal Tap review. Brendan, I know you got to go. I appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Ken.
Love that there. What did I do? Oh, I removed Steve. Every once in a while I like to kick Steve out of the show.
I don't know. What did I do?
Mike Joyce says Dorita is very wise. Dorita is very wise. Mike Fink says I want to be Brendan-like. Yeah, absolutely. Spinal Tap was fun. I enjoyed it. Steve, you didn't ask for my review, but before we get to our next calls, I'll say this. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, was better than it had a right to be. Had some amazing, A+ moments. I think some of the energy was a little low at times. I would have liked a little bit more of a clear story, which I hate saying because it makes me sound like a movie critic. But I loved it, and it was fun to watch, Steve. And this is going to hit hard for you later on in your life, Steve, because you're still younger than me, Steve. To get to watch, quote-unquote, older people still create and do what they love was one of my favorite things about the film. So there's my Spinal Tap review.
That's awesome. So how many? So I was going to say, man, I got to think of how many. I wasn't going to say stars, but we need how many baseball cards in a pack, how many out of, you know what I mean? How there's special little, yeah.
There was a lot. Darina's the best at getting into places, but she's a member of this theater, went to the Egyptian theater. We were a third row. Patton Oswalt was behind us. Andy Richter was behind us. The entire 2 feet away was the entire Spinal Tap crew and Rob Reiner. I interrupted. I kind of had to get around Jamie Lee Curtis, who was on a iPhone FaceTime call with Diane Warren next to Christopher Guest. I had to go pee really bad, and I just didn't want to interrupt Jamie Lee Curtis and Diane Warren. And I could add to my collection Alison Brie, Emilia Clarke, now Zooey Deschanel, of starlets Ken once had a crush on that he accidentally made awkward eye contact with. I did this thing where I walked around and then I was like, I recognized her husband, the house brother guy or whatever the hell he is. And I was like, oh, wait. Oh, that means the person. Oh, it's so. And then she was like, look at that idiot in the pink beanie. That dude's wearing a pink beanie on a 90-degree night. And then we had a fun moment. And then we went home. So there you go.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So there we go. We got more calls to get to. What are we doing here? Okay. Let's get our buddy Jared the Dark Jedi in here. What's going on, buddy?
Hello. I didn't intentionally wear my bathrobe to pay homage to the last conversation we had.
Oh,
it was just cold in my studio, and it was the closest thing I had. So, not to keep foisting you into the Charlie Kirk of it all, I spent
foist away,
so
buddy.
much of yesterday. So much of yesterday fixating on a somewhat recent episode of Anytime. And it was about the people who are not the terminally offline.
Right.
And I was having a mini crisis where, I think Charlie Kirk was a deplorable human being. I am not a proponent of political violence. I think that there's also something to be said of, sometimes you get eaten by the monsters you help create. And
indeed,
that is what it is. But I saw so many people who I know for a fact that are politically unengaged but lean right by matter of convenience and upbringing.
Yeah,
who I also know are not that online, who aren't online enough to know who the hell Charlie Kirk is, let alone a Turning Point USA, etc., etc. And I saw all of these people talking about mourning this man and, all the pictures of the family. And again, it is gruesome. It is grotesque. I think your comparisons to 9/11 are apt. I think that there is something to be said for watching an act of very, very grisly violence
mm-hmm.
in 4K,
right,
unprovoked to oneself, just making the mistake of scrolling and seeing something
right. Yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah.
And there's a part of me that worries. There's a part of me that worries that there's going to be, on top of the lionization and the martyrdom, a fast tracking of mainstreaming his ideas that we're
mm-hmm.
kind of already seeing because of the second Trump administration, but like the Christo-fascist edge that Kirk was so good at, for lack of a better term, and it was kind of his bread and butter.
He was really, that's the problem, right? He was really good. He was really good.
You know, that's his bread and butter. Is it's like Christo-fascist version of conservatism. Like, how are you squaring the, like, you're not online enough to get it, but I'm afraid you're about to fall hook, line, and sinker for his rhetoric now that he's, you know, unfortunately become stronger than we could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's a important conversation that maybe we don't have enough time for here today. Maybe this is
which I apologize for.
This is, no. This is you know, maybe wait for Steve to come back from paternity leave. We dive in deep, but I also think what you're talking about is very important because it's very true. I actually have a stand-up bit about how sometimes I am a bit of a contrarian, but not in the I'm just asking question ways. Just in that my entire life, if I am around a group of people who hate baseball or sports, I'm going to poke them on that. Just as if I'm around a bunch of theater kids who hate sports, I'm going to poke them on that. Not to take a stick to a beehive, but to just go, hey, there's a bigger thing here, and we're all trying to exist, and that's my thing, this is your thing, and again, it's the why of it all. And there's sometimes I want to poke the terminally online to just remind them that there is a large amount of people offline, and that's a generalized term. That's almost the nuance or media literacy of our conversation here, Jared. But you're striking a chord where I think it's very valuable to recognize that, yes, that is why I think you have to sometimes pull back. That's why, I'm not going to Facebook to start fights. I go to Facebook to see, like, all right, what's going on in the people in my life who are just disengaged by it, but still perpetuating the problem. He was a lot of news outlets described him as a political activist. Sure, he was a propagandist, right? We're putting flags at half mast for a podcaster. That is scary stuff to me, and it is the folks from my hometown who don't have an Instagram account, who don't have don't know what a Twitch is, who just are like, I got Facebook and stop there, and we can make our jokes about it and this, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, that's their existence, and they aren't seeing any of this, but now they're part of the machine. And I don't know how to untangle that. That's part of my word salad now, even, Jared, is I'd like to meet them there and have those, not even conversations, but that's why I want to say, like, you know, when I'm going to be, I'll have some of those conversations soon, probably the next week, with people that mattered to me. Just be like, yeah, well, absolutely. Like I said before, again, trying to be clear on this so anyone watching will hear me. But like, yeah, father, husband, that this isn't good. But what do you feel about this thing that he said? Because by putting up a virtual statue of him, you are endorsing this. And don't you think that's a problem, or do you not? And your choice to answer. I don't know if that even answers or addresses the thing you're talking about, Jared, but it's on my mind. It's on my mind. That they don't know that when you say his name, they're like, yeah, it's just politics, right? It's that thing. It's just politics. Where politics is this old school thing of tax code.
Yeah, and I think that's also, sorry.
No. You know what I mean? Hit me. Continue. Go on, Jared.
For sure. And I think that part of, like, what is so insane, I also think there's a delay in my internet's going apeshit, so I apologize. I think there's also something to be said for, like, the oversimplification of this as, oh, he was killed because of difference of opinion. And
right. Yes.
I think, not to endorse what happened to him, because it's horrific and it is a horrible standard to set. I think there's also something to be said for that difference of opinion was inherently violent towards a lot of people. That his speech was acts of violence consistently. Even when it was coded, even when there was, like, layers of respectability and plausible deniability on top of it, what he was saying was violent, and to absolve him is to sell the issue short and condemn us to never finding anything even resembling a solution. And I think that's the big thing that's really frustrating to me, is that I think there's a lot of people who are going to hear but we need to take what he's been saying into consideration and hear that as an endorsement of him being brutally murdered in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to make somebody understand the nuance of it all, to use one of the buzzwords.
Well, this might be adjacent to your point, but in the ballpark, which is a sports reference, Jared. I know you're getting to like sports. But I just had this in my life, and I have been guilty, maybe still be. We're all passing through sometimes, and you see a headline or you see something, and you form an opinion, but you really haven't engaged with it. I'm not, from politics down to seafood. I don't know. Steve says he doesn't like seafood. Is it because he's allergic, or he just never had good shrimp scampi? We don't know. We'll find out. But I just had this. Silence you. I just had this happen in my life with someone close to me. A conversation about capitalism versus socialism came up. And my whole point was, I was even joking, like, I don't want, like, you think when I say that socialism, or I kind of like democratic socialism or anything like that, this person goes to 1952 Russia.
Yeah.
And I get it, because as I've said before, and I'm not going to read, my grandparents, I'm here because my grandparents were kicked out of the Soviet Union by Stalin. Like, my grandfather's name was on a list until the day he died. I don't know if I'll ever step back in that country. I'd rather go to Kyiv, my grandmother's hometown. But so this is close to my family story. So it's like, no, I get it. Yeah, that was bad. But I also, the nuanced conversations, it's not even the system. It was men with power. What Marx meant was already probably perverted by the time Lenin gets in power, to where we are now with Putin. It is all about men with power, right? But my thing was, I'd like to, I'm not talking about that. I'm not even talking about what's in Norway and Sweden. And I shouldn't have to, quote, move there. Why don't we do some things here? Then I was even broke it down even further, Jared, where I was like, hell, I'll take what we had in the 60s with some of Johnson's policies, or even some of Nixon's, which would be considered too far left these days.
Oh, like, yeah, you're looking down the barrel of like actual Marxism, if you were to ask most.
And so my point in this conversation I was having was, I used to actively go back 20 years ago. I would actively argue with friends who brought up even the word socialism because of what happened to my grandfather. Mm-hmm. And that's as far as I went until not too long ago. I read the actual words and beliefs and platform of Eugene Debs in a book about the 1912 election, the most famous socialist candidate ever, ran for president 4 times, the last time from prison. And when I actually read the words, Jared, I was by myself in my house, and I shrunk down in my bed because I went, oh my God, am I a damn dirty socialist? Because I agree with every word. I've never in my entire life stopped to hear his words or read his words. That's going on to me with Mamdani, where you're not even, I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm not talking about the Democrats who won't endorse it. I'm talking about people in my life who are like, oh, we can't have a socialist win in New York. Okay, but do you know what he means? And then this person, we actually had a productive conversation. They watched a video. They came back to me and they were like, and by the way, this is a boomer, Jared. This is the online versus offline. This is an offline person. This boomer said, I've never realized that I've been the beneficiary of socialist programs, including my Medicare, road, streets, police. They never thought about it.
Yeah.
But they formed an entire life platform against this. And so it might be adjacent to what you're saying, but it's what's on my head too.
And I think that, and I'll shut up here in a minute because I know there's lots of people in line. I think that there's something to be said about, there is the current body politic is so polarized and it's so chaotic and there's so much, anger and animus all over the place that, you see progressives, liberals, people on the left, generally speaking, tend to be the more frustrated and outraged over policy. And that because I think that, again, the left, whatever the hell that means in America, was put on their back foot first and was therefore enraged first. A lot of the why can't we all just get along gets foisted onto the left. in a weird way that when we continue and keep going, people who are burnt out by constant conflict, constant frustration, constant tension, that there's an expectation of, oh, it's just a matter of why can't we just get along? It's just politics. And it's that whole, like what you were saying with that productive conversation of you are actively benefiting from socialistic policy that I don't know how to explain to some of these people that I went to high school with, or that I knew from doing theater with, that it's like, I don't know how to make you understand, like, this isn't just a difference of opinion. Like, this is a bigger issue.
Yeah.
And that's before you even get into we don't know the motive of the fucking guy either. But yeah. Like I said, big idea question that I know we don't have time for, but I was curious.
I appreciate it, Jared. You always speak so well on it, but it's been on my mind. We're in the same spot where this has been part of even what I want to do on Entertainment of the show is just try to, because again, learning from Mike's, I'm a small suburban legacy Reagan Christian Republican who has gone a different direction, and I don't need everyone to go that direction. I'm just saying I've gone through some changes, but I was reached not by friends shouting me down, even though some did or wanted to, but by just people existing around me, and then me finally taking some steps into let me actually analyze why I believe these things.
Yeah.
So that's all. All right. Hope your fantasy team does good this week.
Me too. Also, real quick before I go, moving out, you may be right. Reese's Caramel Big Cup.
You may be right. Love it, Jared. Appreciate you, buddy.
Take care.
There you go. We got some good Billy Joel stuff going here tonight. Still got a lot of calls to get to, Steve. We got to get the NFL picks. I'm watching, not watching. I'm listening to Jared, but in the background, I got the game on here. Washington, Green Bay.
Yeah,
big game
it's
tonight.
It's a big game tonight. I'm excited for picks. We'll
we got picks. We're not leaving yet.
Ready.
Let's go ahead. All right, we got. Oh man. Okay. We still want to do Game of Thrones too. I'm just producing the show on the fly tonight. Let's bring in Sean. Let's bring our buddy Sean. We haven't heard from Shawnee in a while. So Sean McCabe checking in. We got our buddy Shawnee checking in from the island. How you doing, Sean?
How are you, brother?
I am okay, man. What's on your mind tonight?
A bit of good news. Liam got his green belt the other day.
Your son got his green belt. Everybody congratulate Liam for the green belt.
Gotta share you that photo at some point. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you, man. What's your favorite ice cream flavor, and what do you think of when you taste it?
Okay. Can I parse this out? Maybe get a sub question, or are you just talking about? I go into an ice cream parlor. I'm not talking about a Ben and Jerry's because I love fish food or Cherry Garcia. I do love that, but those are busy and those are almost their own things, right? Are you just talking on like get a quart of ice cream? What am I reaching for?
You know what? We'll break it down even further, like chocolate vanilla or pistachio. Like, what are you picking? What do you think of?
I like this. It's vanilla, and I think of happiness, and I'll maybe add. Actually, I don't add a lot, but I like mint chip, but I kind of prefer it with the vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
I like cookies and cream a lot. Big cookies and cream fan. Only because I just thought as a kid it was so cool that I'm sitting down to have ice cream, but also I might get to have a cookie. Woo! That was a great thing.
It's a bit of a multi-snack, man. I get it.
It is. Cookies and cream. A very versatile snack. What about you?
I've always been a chocolate guy.
Ebony and ivory. You and I trying to get along here. When I get to Long Island, what ice cream parlor are we going to?
Well, forget Long Island, man. You got to come to Queens. That's where it's at.
Well,
even though geographically we're apart.
Geographically, you're apart, but they're separate worlds. I get it. Apologies to the fine folks of Queens.
Not a problem, brother. I would take you to Eddie's Sweet Shop.
That sounds so promising, Sean.
It's in Forest Hills. It's right around the corner from where they filmed Peter Parker's house in the first Spider-Man movies.
Okay, love it. I'm there.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is great. Good palate cleanse, buddy. Also, actually, I want to thank you. You sent a very generous super chat. You spent the day with Engine 285, Ladder 142, the pride of Ozone Park, Queens. Pay tribute to my Uncle Ray York with the men of his firehouse. 24 years later, I'm a Phoenix. Much love to you all. I really appreciate that sentiment there, Sean, and sharing that personal story there, too. And some good ice cream to wash away my memories.
As solemn as the day was, I've been in stitches every second, like after mass ended. Mass, it was like a funeral for me all over again. But but afterwards, just hanging out with the guys, it was great. And for all of you guys who do not know about Uncle Ray, he was right quick. He was on the injured list after a fire, and he was on light duty working at the fire zone, like the FDNY's own little spot in Rockefeller Center.
Okay.
And he was quote unquote, fireman Ray to the kids.
Okay.
So right once the first plane hit, he ran to an old firehouse nearby that he used to work at, grabbed somebody's gear, and said, "Hey man, I'm taking this going downtown." Right. Jumps on the back of a news van, and they could only get to Canal. Once he got to Canal, he kept running, and he jumped in with some paramedics in the back of an ambulance, and that was it. We found him a couple of days later. An amazing dude who could drink a pint of Guinness in 5 seconds flat. Would equate the job to being on the Yankees, even though I'm a Mets guy, man. But everybody's got their job. You don't do it alone. Here's to Uncle Ray, guys.
Here's to Uncle Ray. I tell you what, Shawnee, when I finally get out to Queens, not Long Island, we're going to go to an Irish pub and throw him back for him, okay?
You will always have room with me, my brother. Much love.
All right. Much love, Sean. Check it in. Appreciate that call there. Sharing the stories there from the ground there. Let's keep rolling so I can get to some picks, but I'm not trying to roll through these calls. I really love seeing all the voices checking in tonight. So if it feels like I'm trying to get right to the point, it's not because I don't want you here or I'm rushing you. We just got a full show. JMB is checking in from, not local. How you doing, buddy?
Hey. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good. So I want to take a total right turn, left turn, whatever it is. I don't know if this is the sort of thing you would rather say for Force Center, but also I know that you obviously you guys don't have like live calls on Force Center, so I'd rather be able to ask you.
Hold on. Once a month we do. We try to. We're gonna get back to that. Yeah, I'm curious now. You got my interest piqued here.
Okay, so one of maybe my number one character now in Star Wars is Ahsoka.
Okay.
And you have mentioned in the past on Force Center and elsewhere that Ahsoka season 1 not quite on the top of your list, maybe not even the middle of your list, maybe towards the bottom of the newer Star Wars stuff. And
this is correct.
I'm not saying this as I'm not going to be asking this as a I'm going to sit here and whatever Ken says, I'm going to be like, I'm going to push back and this and that, the other. No. It's more of a like what did Ken see that I didn't? Because admittedly, I when I saw Ahsoka, I probably liked Ahsoka, not Ahsoka, Acolyte better.
Sure.
I definitely like Mandalorian better and some other things better. But of all the Star Wars TV stuff, I've actually liked all the TV stuff. Even like, people make fun of, the Book of Boba Fett and everything, but I even, like yourself, I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. I
love Book of Boba Fett. It's still one of my favorites. I love that weird, wild, wonky show.
Yeah.
Well, so to the quick point, to your point, it isn't about the characters. It isn't about the overall story. Ahsoka, for years, I'd say was one of my top 5 favorite characters. If she's out of the top 5, it's only because newer characters, including Jod, or even including Ray Stevens' betrayal of Baylan Skoll, soon to be picked up by Rory McCann. And very sad we lost Ray. That's why if she's slidden out of the rankings, is why we don't take rankings too seriously. It's just simply for me, it is of all the series, and even some of the movies, it was the actual direction, actual pacing of the writing, and even the editing of the show. It was more behind the camera for me than any other show, and that includes, again, Book of Boba Fett's got some stilted dialogue and some of those Star Wars things that people don't like. I love my prequels, but I get it. George, actors kind of got in the way of George. There's all those kind of things that we can talk about. But for me, that's what drove it, and I couldn't ever escape it. I did just complete a rewatch, and I liked it a lot better. And I love Balin Skull as a character. I love Shin Hati. I like the characters. I also felt I don't normally go this direction, but I felt I just felt Natasha Lubordizzo was one of the least charismatic leads we have ever had in a series, and I just felt it was a little bit of a miss. And so that was more than any other series. It was behind the camera stuff that caused me not to like it. Story, all the stuff, I'm there for it. Ahsoka's great. I cannot wait for season 2. You know, I'll be there with boots and a cape on.
Yeah. I'm really hoping they kind of get into that sort of that, you know, Clone Wars as well as Rebels weirdness with like the space whale with the Purgles.
You'll see that.
Yeah.
Well, the Purgles, and then you'll see that with probably some World Between Worlds and Mortis stuff. I'm convinced too.
Yeah, so. I really enjoyed the scene where we flash back, where we get to a young Ahsoka, and all of a sudden, we see the scene straight out of the Clone Wars.
Some of my favorite. Yes, sorry, I'm stepping. I apologize. No. That's some of my favorite Hayden. That's some of my favorite stuff. So, in keeping with the Force Setter goal, I always try to engage with the art that's presented to me, and also understand that series meant the world, absolute world, to many in the Force Center community, yourself included. So, I try to keep that off the Force Center airwaves. I think I was a little grouchy about it early on and stepped on some toes, but I also just got to be honest, because I get so many people that swing into my life and be like, you dumb Disney shill and everything, or I heard you're just the positivity crew and everything, and I could tell you which show mentions that stuff by name, but let's keep them out of my mouth. And it's not true, and that just had to be honest about that series and those thoughts I had about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like again, it's I understand that the people are going to enjoy some things more than others, right? Like, if you ask me, I could, with the start of the Disney era, I could rank the things that I like better than others, and there's probably things that are probably at the bottom of my list, and whatnot. And I don't have an issue, personally, I don't have an issue with like people saying, well, I enjoyed this, but not as much this. I enjoyed Andor more, but this other thing not as much. Or I enjoyed Rogue One, but not that other thing. And and again, like it's for me, it's like I understand, because I have a lot of fandoms, and it's easy to get tied into something and sort of kind of like myopic and entrenched into a thing.
Sure, absolutely. No, I think it's a good point.
And and it feels like a hit to your ego. It feels like a hit to your being when somebody's like, "Oh, that sucked," and you're like, "Well, wait a minute, this is the thing that I love."
But you know me, I absolutely consider myself a Batman of Star Wars, meaning I'm going to defend the multiple generations of fans.
Yeah,
and that's why I usually attack Gen X about Star Wars, because they have some of the shittiest takes about it that rob the joy and understanding of other people's love of Star Wars. It's one of my pet peeves, but that doesn't also take away from the truth of that series. I felt JB, I appreciate it. Packers are up 14-0. So I hope that's not affecting your fantasy team.
No, actually, I got nobody tonight, so that's okay.
Same.
One last thing. Candy bars, underrated. And probably my most favorite, 100 grand.
100 grand's a great choice. It sticks to the roof of my mouth, but it's the caramel's great.
Yeah, the caramel, the little Rice crispy things in it. Oh, fabulous.
I love it, JMB. Great choice. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, JMB, check it in. You got players going tonight there, Steve?
No, the interns have the night off, but Brady's got Josh Jacobs, who is got a touchdown already. Pretty good early game so far. So,
all right,
me and Brady are at odds for the weekend.
If you want to come back in, let's do it. All right, we're rolling along. Let's get Professor Addie. No science tonight. Addie is on her secret spy mission. She won't tell us what's going on, but she didn't have time to put together the science, which is great. She deserves some time off. Let's get Addie on the show. Dr. Addie, our resident professor of smart things. I ask you first, Addie, 100 grand, yay or nay?
I don't think I've ever eaten 100 grand.
could be. I don't know if it's regional, but it could be one of those.
I've definitely seen them. I just don't think I've ever eaten one, and I apologize. I didn't realize I sounded like this. I can go.
What you sound like? What? What do you sound like?
I am coming down with something, and I think I'm losing my voice.
Oh, I just thought you were crying over not having $100,000, which is a valid option in life. No, stay as long as you need here to get the question out. But also now I'm concerned about you. Do we need to send some vitamin C packets over?
Something. It came on Tuesday, and it's only getting worse. So this is.
Honestly, I don't know if I would have recognized it if you didn't say something, but now that you've said something, I hear it. You actually just sound like a really cool sketch character. So you should just make this some persona and just go with it.
I wish I could do this naturally.
It's great. But anyways, what's on your mind so I don't strain your voice anymore?
I'm just here to defend Reese's.
The saying it in terms of this open forum. Hit me. What do you got?
It's just how I say it. I got nothing else except the fact that there is two. No, there's not. I spell it wrong. Never mind.
I really like. I think it's Reese's Pieces, but Reese's and I'm sure there's a right answer. I'm sure there's an actual. I get it. But at the end of the day, it is truly where or how you were raised. Right. That's the AT-AT versus AT-AT conversation in Star Wars was fun at first and became maddening. Because the answer is, if you saw the Kenner commercial in 1990 and 1980, and the guy said AT-AT, that's what you said, and that's what we said until later on in the 90s. Someone said, I think it's actually AT-AT. That's what it is. So Reese's, life goes on. But the point is, Addie, they're really good.
They are Addie, really good.
I have a question. Are you a GIF or a GIF person? Because is this like Mets Yankees, like Mets Jets, Yankees Giants? Like, are you if you're a Reese's Pieces person, are you also a GIF person? How where do you stand on that?
I am a GIF person.
Okay,
a GIF.
Okay, yeah.
See, yeah, I'm with it. See, yeah, that's one of the great debates of our time, Steve. That has a different angle where, like, the actual creator comes out and says it's GIF, right? And my argument, it's a bar argument, meaning it's not serious.
Jif is a peanut butter brand.
Right, Addie. And my thing was, that's so great that he said that. It's not what it is. Sorry, buddy.
You're allowed to create the thing and be wrong.
Yeah, it's like, I get it. Like, it's, again, it's also not serious. So I'll say what is needed. Well, Addie, hit me.
What is the best way to eat a Reese's? Not Pieces, a regular Reese's.
Oh, the cup? All in at once, baby. All in at once. I do not. Cup? Yep. I am. Folks, you don't want to watch me eat. Dorina, I don't know if Dorina's still in chat, but Dorina had to sit next to me at the Egyptian Theater and watch me eat a large bucket of popcorn like I was an alligator attacking some sort of meat in the water. It was hard for her to watch. I eat like a Viking conquering, and the Reese's Cup all in whole.
Yeah, no, Ranger Donald is correct. Frozen all the way.
No, Frozen's good. I didn't do that a lot. I will say that Grace was a big frozen chocolate treat, and it worked really well.
I was a refrigerated Reese's person until this summer when one of my colleagues was like, have you ever had them frozen? And I was like, no, is that a thing? And then I did it. And
that's great.
There's no going back.
There is no going back, indeed. No going back. Well, Addie, I was going to say get some chocolate, but if you're not feeling well, maybe wait till the weekend.
I might have ice cream. It'll feel good on my throat.
I think you deserve it. Ice cream and a Sprite or 7-Up. Good sore throat, not cure, but softener.
I can't drink carbonated beverages anymore, Ken. It's a real sadness in my life.
We'll throw a funeral for sodas in your life. That's horrible.
I miss Dr. Pepper immensely.
We'll find a way. Maybe a Dr. Pepper flavored something or other. We'll get the
Dr. Pepper Peeps were pretty good.
Yes, they are. Dr. Pepper Peeps. Addie, get well, okay? We need you.
I will try. Hopefully science next week.
We will have it. I don't want to I would definitely not want to bring her up on camera. But the whole time, Steve, that Addie was in that call, she was adorably wrapped in a blanket, like she had like one of those old timey like ice packs on her head with like a thermometer
with like a cap on it.
Yeah. Get well, Addie. You are neated here. All right. We got some picks. We got Jerry the Cannon Junkie. Just I don't know what he's doing in chat. No. Addie says, try the Dr. Death flavor of liquid death. I had at Spinal Tap. I had a mango liquid death. Holy shit, Steve! It was good.
Okay. Isn't that just water?
It's water, right?
Is it carbonated? It's not carbonated.
Yeah. When it's not carbonated. Yeah, Addie, it's not carbonated. It's water. And then when we showed up to the theater, they were giving us the popcorn and the sodas, it's amazing to me that me and Harry Shearer both got to enjoy free popcorn together, right? We walk in and then I saw they had Diet Coke and Sprites and everything, and I saw cans and I was like, it's just gonna be easier to have a can. Oh shit, it's liquid death. All right, I'll try this mango flavor. I'm getting a 12-pack this weekend.
That's a good question. Who's who's the top billing person you can think of that like? I guess shared a meal with seems a little formal, but like the same buffet, the same function, like you were eating the same food as that person. Because I shared the same thing of popcorn as Bo Jackson.
Ooh,
yeah.
What happened there? You run on the field like that kid in Petco? Like what happened?
No, so actually. No, but I was on the field and I was a kid. So we were at an Arizona Cardinals game. Bo Jackson sold donuts in his retirement. I don't know if you know this.
I did. Yes,
and so my family was also related in the food service industry as far as I'll go. And so we were at an event. Bo Jackson was there, and so we were hanging out with him in a big sweet thing for the game at an Arizona Cardinals game. And then after the game, all the kids in the group got to go onto the field and just tackle the absolute shit out of the mascot. It was like they gave you a 20-yard red. I just feel so bad for the guy who was in like the suit, because they gave us a 20-yard head start, put a mat down, and then just said, just go to town, like just hit him as hard as you can. And there wasn't a ton of padding in that suit. It was just a big red bird mascot suits. We beat the shit out of him.
He got overtime that day, right? He got.
I hope Bo Jackson cut him like a big fat check or sign him a bat or something, because we beat the hell out of him.
Like when I win Mega Billions tomorrow night. All right, let's do some Jared the Tie Piloting and some. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get some GOT in, because God knows I need some content over on Casually Talk. But here he is, the other Jared with an E. I just muted myself. How you doing, buddy?
Don't mute yourself. This is your show.
It is indeed. How you holding up, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Another glorious day in America, as
glorious day.
As dear leader wants it to be.
Indeed. He and his half droopy face, which definitely not indicative, I should say, of anything else. Anyways, no. All right. Before we get to some GOT, I just wanted to check on you there. So, any other questions or comments on the events of the night, especially the candy bar conversations?
I mean, I've always been a Three Musketeers kind of guy.
It's not bad. You know what? Of the big ones, I consider that one of the big candies. That fluffy pillow of marshmallows right in the middle there. I'm there for that.
Whoa, hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your.
Breaking news.
I am watching the news just in case something happens. The Three Musketeer. You're saying Three Musketeer is an S tier candy bar, like one of the big, because that's.
Yep, I think it is.
You get whoa. Okay, slow down, both of you. If we're talking S tier, top tier candy bars, like the Three Musketeer goes in the rectangular singular candy bar category. This is we're competing with Snickers. We're competing with your 100. I mean, 100 grand's definitely not in here. But I
agree.
I mean, is there really room for two of these in the S tier? Because if you think Three Musketeers is better than a Snickers bar, sir, we will exchange words.
Oh, Snickers bar.
They start exchanging.
So subpar.
Are you kidding me? The Snickers bar is the standard. That is the standard candy bar.
I agree with that. Hold on, Jared.
It's the McDonald's French fries of candy bars.
Jared, calm your Bostonness. Okay, let me step in here. I got this. If we're at a bar, Jared, I got this. Snickers is the standard, maybe along with Hershey's. Snickers is the standard, and much like I Love Lucy, everything that came after surpassed it. Thank you for your standard. We're gonna leap over it. That's the Snickers to me.
The Three Musketeers bar is so busy. The chocolate is incredibly subpar to a Snickers bar. Like what do we do? Like even the wrapper is too shiny and annoying. The marketing for it is terrible compared to the Snickers bar. No, I'm just pro Snickers bar. Like I just know what's good when I see it.
You're not pro Snickers. You're anti Three Musketeers.
Yeah, that might be it.
That's not true. One of my favorite movies as a child. So no, I won't take the slam.
Really, the Charlie Sheen one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oliver Platt.
Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt.
Yeah, I came out of that movie, went straight to my barber, and said, "Make my hair and face like this Charlie Sheen guy." Okay, first of all, I do want to concede. I don't love the Three Musketeers packaging. It often rips and is in pieces.
Too thin.
Too thin. I actually think that's a good point. I think Snickers is too busy. I think Snickers has nuts. It has layers. It has hard parts, soft parts. It's an adventure, and I don't need an adventure. I need the pillowy softness of a Three Musketeers.
Okay, do you think a Three Musketeers is also as good frozen as it is not frozen? Because a Snickers bar is both a delight, frozen or not. I don't think a Three Musketeers is elevated being frozen at all.
My friend, I have had Three Musketeers room temperature, frozen, deep fried. It is a win. It is a straight win. Your hating can go so far, but at the end of the day, you're still wrong.
Look, here's the thing. Okay, here's the most important thing, Steve. Could you hurry up and raise this second child? Come back to the show, and we got to do a Halloween blather bracket on top tier candies. Yep. And you know what? We'll bring Scotty and Jerry in it because they think we are still in their concept, even though we're not in powdered wigs and speaking in accents. I think we have a blather bracket candy Halloween edition.
Okay, done. Get it on the books. It's we're a month out. It'll be there.
Yeah.
The month
Hurry
of
up,
October
raise this kid, send him to college. Yeah. All right, Jared. Let's do this here. As happens, my friend Jared calls into the show here. And if you're watching on Casually Talk, hello, check out the Blathering Live. But we'd like to have some conversations about Game of Thrones, and we're in the middle of a Game of Thrones rewatch. We're still in season 6, episode 7, Broken Man. Jared, is that correct? Yeah, because memory serves. And what do you got?
Yes. We've been a little dormant. Life happens, but that's okay. We are on to season 6, episode 7, Broken Man, directed by Mark Mylord and written again by our boy Brian Cogman.
Mm-hmm. The lore master.
You ain't fucking kidding, brother.
Beep. All right. I watched this 2 weeks ago. We were going to do the segment about 2 weeks ago, so I had some bigger, deeper thoughts. But this is an episode definitely remembered for the Hound, the Gravedigger, all those things. Love to talk about that a little bit. But one of those things, this is why I love doing this rewatch series now. Like, it's been a couple years, and episode 7's got a lot going on.
It does. That cold opener was something else. They don't do it much in the show, but when they do, they really, it's going to be a good episode. And I do love the simple gag of the reveal. You got 4 guys trying to carry this log. And all of a sudden you see the one big man with the log. It's Hound Boy. And then theme song hits. And and then you got our man, Ian McShane. Just I don't think he had a bad line in this whole episode. This man owned his one and only episode in the show.
Absolutely. And then in typical Ian, or I should say wonderful Ian McShane fashion, kind of complained about only having one episode and I don't know what it's about, and made some comments about Game of Thrones, and I wouldn't want him any other way. He is Al Swearingen, true on that one there. But yeah, love Brother Ray playing well, it's kind of taken from some Septim Maribald stuff from the books, but I love Brother Ray. I love the return, and it makes sense. It was Brian Cogman, the lore master, bringing this character, Sandor Clegane, back to the show, like the cold open. But also, this is one of those big dangling participles, so to speak, as I like to say, of, the Gravedigger, what we had gotten to in the books. And it is both, I think, unlike, say, Cold Hands, which was maybe completely different, but also made a lot of sense. This one was, I think, in the right, it was the right direction. I love what they did with it. Could I have taken a couple more episodes of him be in this character? Yeah, but I also think you didn't need that, and you needed to get to him to where he was at the end of it. So I like how they handled it. Did you have any thoughts going into this episode of will that Gravedigger ever come back? Will show up? Will he be confirmed to be Sandor? What was your thoughts on that?
I'm actually pretty much in line with you because, after not getting, Lady Stoneheart and having Cold Hands be changed, and like you've said so many times before, I mean, the show was different from the books from scene 1, shot 1.
Yeah.
So, at this point, I was very much in the I'm gonna let it, as the kids say, let it cook, because I was trusting him with everything, even though I still had spite over Bran not being in season 5 at all. It's okay. I'll get over it one day. I'm in therapy.
Just for that? That's good. That's good.
But no, they did a great job because, again, it's just Ian's performance brings out the dialogue and the message of the episode and the pushing of Sandor in the direction they need in just those 15-20 minutes of that whole episode of them being in there, and the little messages each time just get more and more powerful until I'm sorry, but he's got one of the best lines of the season. What do you want? I'm a fucking septon.
Yes, McShane's great. Yeah, the big theme kind of running through all this episode is the kind of like stand and fight. How do you fight? What are you fighting for? And how are you going to fight it? Something that's big in Game of Thrones and shows up a lot. But with everything at play here, you have Jon, Sansa, Davos. We get to meet Lyanna Mormont, one of the great characters of all time, I think. But just about oaths and again, how to fight. And you got Sir Robert Glover just being an absolute jerk a-hole, kind of going back on his oaths, and Lyanna's going to say, put a pin in that. I'll talk to you later about that.
Oh, God,
Jamie and Bronn going to the Riverlands also has some of the best comedy this season of just the phrase trying to do that. But also the Blackfish returning in a grand way. And there's someone who is going to stand and fight, and obviously until it takes his life. But all that stuff at play, the stuff with Olenna and Marjorie handing her the note, and this is part of the fight. And we know it doesn't necessarily turn out good for her either. But even Cersei saying, when Olenna's like, I'm getting out of here, pack your shit and leave. That's what you should do. I like, again, Cersei's one of those complicated characters where you're kind of often rooting for her, but I like that she says, I'm going to stand and fight. This is what she wanted, this kingdom. Her pursuit of that will also lead to her downfall later on, but it leads to a great moment later as we get to our rewatch. But I love that that's all going. Even you got Theon, you got Yara, with one of the great.
Oh, that was a great.
Yeah, for all the kids out there, but I'm gonna go fuck the tits off that one, and then we're gonna go come back. Yara is one of my favorites. So everything at play in this episode, I think, is important to the overall story of the show. How do you fight?
Exactly.
And what are you fighting for?
And just another theme of change too. Just with Brother Ray telling Clegane, like, it's never too late to help someone, to build something better, to just do what you can with what you have left. It's a beautiful episode and the business that man was standing on at the end of the episode where he just walks away grabbing the hatchet. It just
it's a solid moment, and again, we earlier in this live broadcast talked about Ahsoka and Rory McCann coming in as Balin Skoll. That's why I have, as much as I am sad about the loss of Ray Stevenson, I have so much faith in Rory McCann. It is episodes like this, and even the stuff later on, definitely the stuff earlier, but even the stuff later on with Arya as he, even the finale, what he says. We'll get to that on the rewatch, but this is, I think, some of the Hound's finest stuff, without a doubt. And it's hard not to pull a great performance out of an actor when you're opposite Ian McShane.
Right. Definitely same. So we look forward to next time. We'll try to keep it a little more regular. Next episode we got is No One.
No One indeed. Yeah. And just a final note on Bella Ramsey as Lyanna Mormont. They just came into this role and owned it in a way that the show hadn't seen in a while. So many great performances in every episode of Game of Thrones, but they were a standout for a reason.
Oh, definitely. How could I forget? I actually now feel bad that I didn't bring that up more, but yes, definitely a fan favorite standout scene. and it'll always be 62.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah. 62 indeed. Love it. Well, there you go. We'll get to episode 6, season 6, episode 8. No one. I appreciate it, Jared. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Always, buddy.
All righty. Make sure I don't remove. I figured out, Steve. I figured out why I occasionally accidentally remove you. Out of the corner of my eye, when I go down to pull the caller off, you have the card up in the corner that says their name, and so on the bottom in the queue, I just see that. That's why.
So it's my fault.
Got it. That's my point. Your fault. All right. It is halftime. I'm trying to get a workout in during the third and fourth quarters. So, Steve, without further ado, we are going to do this. NFL picks for this week, week 2 of the NFL season.
Week 2, yes, very exciting. We went a little bit over how you did in week 1. Wasn't great. 1-4 to start the season. But the week of redemption is upon us. I didn't think it would have to be week 2, but here we go. You have to start somewhere.
They didn't think that in Miami either, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll get to your Dolphins. Don't you worry.
Oh, we will. And remember last year, I think the week I went 0-5, didn't the next week I go 5-0, or was it vice versa?
You went. Yeah, I think you actually recovered an 0-5 with a 5-0. Because if you went 5-0 then 0-5, I would have given you more shit for that longer, I think, than I did. So yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. All right, let's look at it first up here. The Chicago Bears, and yes, we know it says week 1.
Yeah, that's I know.
Sometimes you just copy and paste. No, Steve, you copy and paste. That's what we do. We copy and paste sometimes.
I know.
Chicago Bears going to Detroit. We get the Lions favored, right? But giving away 6.5.
Lions are giving 6.5 at home. The Lions have a big bounce back here after getting kind of embarrassed at Lambeau last week in Green Bay in week 1. And the Bears are doing a lot of soul searching, as they've been doing for about 15 years now. So this is an interesting game. While the spread is still 6.5 is a lot in the NFL.
Yeah.
But can the Lions figure their shit out? That's the question of this game.
Ranger Donald in chat says this might be a bad game. I don't disagree, but last week I was right about the Packers over the Lions. I thought, it could be a little bit of a fallback for the Lions this year, even though they're, technically I'd say my second favorite team in the NFL. But I'm going to go the reverse of that. They got a little bit of that ass kicking. Dan Campbell probably pulled them in, throttled them verbally a little bit. I think they're ready to go. I am taking the Lions, and I'm not worried about that 6.5.
All right, taking the Lions 6.5, hoping that offense gets back on track. And yeah, Ranger, this might be a bad game. The thing about week 2 is historically it kind of full of shit games, Ken. So, but anyway, we're gonna make the best of it. This is just how these go. So, let's go to game number 2.
Game number 2, we got ourselves the New York Football Giants traveling to the palace of Jerry Jones. The Cowboys favored at home, giving away 4.5 points. What is that here?
Yeah, Cowboys are giving up 4.5 at home after a pretty close game against Philly in week 1. The Giants are, again, kind of a ship lost at sea at the moment. We're going to see if Russell Wilson completes this game as the starting quarterback of the Giants. There's a lot of chatter that we might see Jackson Dart depending on how this game goes. New York's offensive line is really bad. Malik Neighbors is probably their best offensive weapon. They have some decent pieces on defense, but this Giants team is not quite ready yet. This is a get-right game for Dallas. If it's not, then Dallas is going to get loud about how much trouble they're in.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's why I'm thinking at home. I think they're going to stop by some Whataburgers on the way in. I think Jerry's going to treat them all to Whataburgers to inspire them. I don't trust the New York Football Giants yet. Maybe some good things going on down the line. Who knows? But I'm going Cowboys. I am going Cowboys straight away. Pick them.
A little easier, not as many points this time. 4.5 isn't too bad. So yeah, I think that's a good pick. I would pick the Cowboys there too.
You take the Cowboys. Okay, now I know we're in good company there for that. Then if I'm picking it, picking that there. And again, for those who just watch, and I clip these out for fun and put these on the channel. I've been a lifelong football fan, but never been a betting expert. Never been a football expert. I go with the gut, man. I go with what Madden, football video games, and my gut tell me about these games. Next one up here, we got an absolute big one. I think. Potential marquee, right? What do we got?
This is the Kirk Cousins Bowl. It's too bad he's going to be sitting on the bench the whole time. I love this. I'm excited
his trad
for this.
wife watching in the stands. Sorry, there I said it. There, I said
it. No, so we've got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Minnesota. JJ McCarthy excited everybody with his big fourth quarter last week and his NFL debut. Vikings have a good team. The big question was whether or not JJ was ready for the reins. He's got a nice big weapon in Justin Jefferson, probably the best wide receiver in the league. So 3.5 points is not a lot. That's Vegas saying we sure aren't quite ready if JJ McCarthy is good yet, but we know the Falcons aren't great. So 3.5 points is a pretty safe spread for these two teams that are, again, we're kind of still feeling out how good they are. Yeah. Falcons, young quarterback, young team, but man, Bijan Robinson, the running back for the Falcons, is very good.
Yeah, see, and this comes down to me, the hype of Penix, who's on my team. He's my backup quarterback. I tried trading him to Lauren Romo in our league for a wide receiver, but in the end, I was like, I don't think I need Tyreek Hill that much. So to me, this is a hype bowl, right? Which one of these emerging players are going to have a great season? Bijan Robinson, is it continue? Is it one of those, wow, this is a giant step forward? Is Penix taking the reins? Or is Kirk Cousins the quarterback by week 5? God bless. We hope so. Or is JJ McCarthy gone? I almost want to get cute, Steve. I almost want to get cute and pick the Falcons to cover. I think the Vikings at home, they're going to blow that Viking horn and win big.
Taking the Vikings at home. JJ McCarthy keeps it up. I think that's a pretty good pick. I mean, this is a we don't know yet game. This is a early season. How for real are these teams? How good are either of these quarterbacks? This game might be totally meaningless by week 10 once the league's figured either of these guys out, but we don't know. But the Vikings have a good coach, so that's kind of one of the knowns. We think the Vikings have a good coach.
Like him, and just to be clear, everyone, Kirk Cousins is a sweetheart. I think he's a sweetheart. Okay, all right. I don't want to know what he posted this week. All right. We got 2 games left, but this is perhaps this is the marquee matchup of week 2. Your Philadelphia Eagles. I love that some stranger on the internet on that clip last week said, spoken like an average Eagles fan. Your Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Kansas City to take on the Patrick Mahomeses. Chiefs favored?
The Chiefs are underdogs at home. As of now, I made this graphic earlier today. This is, I believe, the first game the Chiefs will be a home underdog in, I think, like 3 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so coming off of a fresh ass whooping in the Super Bowl back in February, the Eagles are traveling to Kansas City. This has been, these two teams have been, aside from the Super Bowl, this has just always been a big game because of Andy Reid. But the fact that we have the Super Bowl rematch is always an extra wrinkle. I wish we could play these bastards in Philly for once, because the last 2 games have been in Kansas City. But 1.5 points, the Eagles having to give up 1.5 points in a away game, that's tough.
Do they call this the Andy Reid Chicken Tendies Bowl? Is this is what we got? Okay.
They should.
Love
Andy Reid. Miss Andy Reid.
I do love Andy Reid and his walrus mustache. Real Craig Statler of the NFL. There's a reference for you folks. I had lunch today with the wonderful Mark Ellis, who's currently right now, as we record live, fretting what's going on over there in the Washington Green Bay game. He said something that I'm just going to piggyback on. He phrased a question. This was a question, Steve, that he didn't have the answer to. And I don't know if we have the answer, but I think the game will answer it. Will the Eagles show up and say, it's been fun, your dynasty's over, and show it right here on the road in Kansas City? And driving home, I knew you were going to choose this game. Steve, you'll be happy to say I think the answer is yes. I am going with the Eagles, and I think it'll be close, but not that close.
Yeah, 1.5 point spread is nothing really to worry about there. It's who's going to win. 1 point games happen, but yeah. I think I appreciate your optimism as an Eagles fan and someone who follows this team a lot. You can actually see right off my camera the best $30 I spent at 2 a.m. was a Eagles replica Super Bowl ring from this last year.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's heavy. It's so heavy. Anyway. We have some questions for the Eagles. On defense specifically, they don't have a number 2 cornerback. The defensive line, hopefully Jalen Carter doesn't spit in anyone's face and get ejected for the rest of the game. Number 2 safety has some questions. If Patrick Mahomes throws the ball at whoever Adoree Jackson, cornerback for the Eagles, is covering, they will score 50 points. So I think this game has a potential to be a little bit of a shootout, even though the Eagles blanked the Chiefs all, for all intents and purposes in the Super Bowl until garbage time. So I think this is going to be way more competitive than the Super Bowl. I don't think either team necessarily got better over the offseason. I think both teams may have, on paper, gotten a little bit worse. The Chiefs just got older, and the Eagles, when you win a Super Bowl, people go get bigger contracts elsewhere. That's just kind of what happens. So you have to reload a little bit. So we will see what the reigning Super Bowl champions do against the fighting Taylor Swift, Mr. Taylor Swifts. And we'll see what happens. But I'm hopeful that my Eagles can pull this out, but I won't be surprised. The Chiefs lost game one. They're not in panic mode yet, but they have a lot of salt in their mouth, I would imagine, after the Super Bowl. This game means a hell of a lot more to them than it does the Eagles. So even if the Eagles do lose, as long as they put up some fight, I'm not going to be crying in my beer too much.
Well, I believe, and speaking of crying in my beer, the final game. That we should stop with the Eagles and Kansas City matchup. That is the marquee matchup of the season. Definitely the week, maybe the season, I should say. But we're going to go to Miami. We're going to go to my Dolphins here. Steve, what do we got?
What the hell is going on in Miami, Ken? And how the hell are they favored by 1.5 points? That is probably the best positive thing you have to hold on to here. Ken, the New England Patriots are traveling to Miami, two teams that both looked pretty bad in week one. The Dolphins are favored by 1.5 points at home. This is if you lose this game, the morning radio shows all over Monday and Tuesday are going to be firing your coach. They're going to be trading Tua. They're going to be putting Tyreek Hill in jail. They're going to be wondering when the owners are going to die. It's going to be 5-alarm fire, tear the franchise down and rebuild it. The Patriots have a brand new coach, Mike Vrabel, who was the coach in Tennessee for a while. He's a good coach, famous who played for the Patriots. Drake May is an emerging young quarterback. People think the Patriots may have already surpassed you on their young quarterback because people are worried that Tua might be broken, all this kind of stuff. People are calling the Dolphins, teams are calling the Dolphins about trading for Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins are saying no. It is absolute chaos going on in Miami, Ken, but yet they are favored by 1.5 points, and that doesn't happen for no reason. At least Vegas, if anyone's going to believe in you, Ken, Vegas is not a bad ally to have.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Steve, because here's my pick. Here is my pick. The hat is on. We always play New England good at least once a season. Even when it was the peak of Belichick and Brady, man, there was always one game, Wildcat game, that year that Brady broke his knee on play one and we won the division. We always have one good game against them a year. This is the game. Do I think Mike McDaniel will last the season? I actually like the guy. I hope he does. Do I think Tyreek ends the season with us? I don't know. I'd be open to trade packages. That's all I'll say. But I absolutely think we're going to rebound. They had a players-only meeting on Tuesday. That they're serious, right? When you players come in on their day off to chat, they're ready. I do like the Patriots. I do like their coaching situation now. I know there was a lot of different regime last year that maybe didn't work out as good. I don't know if it was all his fault, Gerard Mayo. But Dolphins, I think it's going to be a good game, competitive game. I mean, not for anyone else in the league, just us fans who like to watch it. And I'm going Dolphins with pride, Steve, with pride.
Always with, I mean, I don't think you've ever taken them without the pride, but yeah, taking the Dolphins, and this time it's they're favored by 1.5 points, so we can't call it too much of a homer pick, but so I have to ask you then, Ken, what is Monday morning? I want to ask you two scenarios here. Monday morning, your Dolphins win. Okay, you win. Doesn't matter, close game, big game, you won. You pulled it out, you won.
Yeah, you won.
You've got Buffalo coming up the week after.
Yeah.
And so is your feeling like, okay, if we win this game, we kind of see how this goes out? Or like, at what point does Mike McDaniel need to start calling Lululemon to like line up the sponsorship deal for his next job? Is it if they lose the Patriots, is if they lose to the Bills, lose to the Jets?
Here's the thing. Yes. I still hold true to our discussion last week. If they lose this week, all right, so I know your question is about, okay, let me answer your question. We wake up Monday, we've got to win. We're 1-1. We know we can breathe a sigh of relief. We know that we're going to be 2-2 after week 4 because we know we're going to lose to Buffalo Right. But we're going to go to that Monday night game with the Jets, and we're going to win, and we have a little more confidence. The team feels good. Everyone's dancing on the plane ride into Buffalo. Like, we're good. We're good. We're good. Mike gives another one of his wonderful answers. We found the opportunity at hand, and we took that hand, and we made the opportunity be in our hand. Like, he's going to say one of those great quotes at a press conference. But if we wake up and there's a loss, I do think this is an 0-4 start, and I hold to that Monday night game being his last game.
So everything hinges on the Jets. That's your fate is probably going to come down to the Jets. And if it was literally any other team than the Jets, I would say, because you're penciling that game and is, if we beat the Patriots, we'll beat the Jets. That's how you know you're going to lose that game, because that's just how sports works. You can't pencil in wins ever. Yes. It is the kiss of death, even though I'm not a supersticious person. But I'm rooting for you if it makes you feel any better, because I hate the Patriots, but B, I am rooting for your happiness, for your team.
Thank you.
A little part of me, I loved Dan Marino growing up as a kid.
Sure.
So I want to see your Fish do well. I have no beef with the AFC for the most part, especially that part of it. So yeah, I hope they do well. But I think there's a better chance than not that your coach will be getting paid by Lululemon by Thanksgiving.
I think he'll be a special consultant to the San Francisco 49ers by December. But I'm not the first to say that. I'm rooting for him. I like Mike. I like Mikey M. I really do like him. All right, that is our look at NFL picks. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Next week, we'll see if you're going to be here. I think
Thursday.
No, I don't think we will. I think I'm manifested.
Nope, not going to be here Thursday for sure. We might be around a little bit Saturday, maybe Monday, but definitely not Thursday.
All right, I'm going to try to get a pinch hitter for NFL picks. I have someone in mind. I just got to see if they still return my calls. All right, we're getting out of here. It's going to be fun. I want to acknowledge super chats that came in. Thank you, Jared, for the watch. Appreciate you. Dave Mkai, just my name in all caps. That's what I need. JMB, DS9, no wait, TNG, nothing but love from Star Trek fans. We had a super chat from Brady talking about something we were talking about earlier about MLK, or he added MLK to the conversation about being a martyr. I love that. Thank you, King Sport Cow, swinging through and gifting 5 memberships. And Malcolm with another great question says, hi, Ken Balls. Well, given the comically ironic but also serious circumstances, I'd figure ask you something like, if you have total control over bun type and toppings, what's your ideal burger? Plain and simple. I might go a little bit pretzel bun, Hawaiian bun I love a lot, but give me a bun. And I had this in Vegas. Pickles, lettuce, tomato, onions, ketchup, and mustard. Backyard barbecue burger. I kind of determined this week, I like bacon, I like some Western sauce, I like all that. But I just like the feeling of a backyard burger in your hand. That's what I'd go with. There you go. Steve, do you want to debate me on that down the line?
You enjoy your burger, Ken. Give me a brioche bun, and I'm happy.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Big show tonight. Thank you all for having the conversations. Thank you all for expressing your opinions. And I think even anyone in chat who disagreed, I think expressed it in a very clear, concise, and heard manner. So hopefully we can continue that. Thank you all who called in. Big show on the calls tonight. Appreciate that. We'll see you next time. Bye.